Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mediocre Gamers, where we talk about all things gaming. I'm RJ.
I'm Crimson.
And I'm Caleb.
What's going on, everybody? We have some very exciting news. We are now officially on iTunes. Whoop whoop!
That is awesome. It really, really is. And hopefully we will be on the Google Play Store as well.
Yay!
Good stuff. Yeah, we've done some good stuff. We've got a lot of videos in the works, so I'm excited for this next stage in our growth, and I'm really excited. And in some other news today, we just finished our first episode of WTFFG. We were talking about the Android Netrunner LCG, the first rotation, and in the game's life cycle, and a new revised core set. So if you guys are interested in those things, check out our analysis and discussion in our first week's or our episode 1 of WTFFG. And just some other news in a game that I've been playing that I haven't talked about before. There's a game called Endless Space 2, and this is a 4X game, which stands for Explore, Expand, Exploit, and Exterminate. It's very similar to Civilization games, and there's 4X games can take a while to play, and but it's a really in-depth empire building game, and you just get a huge amount of satisfaction from building a large and prosperous empire. And the one of the downsides is it does take a long time to play. I've played a, one game for me against the AI. If I play for a couple hours a night, could take a week. It is a time commitment, but they're extremely rewarding, and I really love the aesthetics and the gameplay that the um, that Games Together has done for Endless Space 2, and they really knocked it out of the park. But what I wanted to talk about just very briefly was them announcing new bomber and fighter modules for to add to your fleet. This is going to add a lot of brand new avenues for shipbuilding and fleet design for Endless Space 2. And with Endless Space, space combat's a thing, and it looks really good. They really did this justice with this game. There's a lot of in-depth and a lot of strategy with that, and this is going to shake things up a lot. So I'm really excited about that. If you guys do enjoy 4X games like Civilization, I think you're really going to like Endless Space 2. You can find it on Steam, and we'll post a link for just Endless Space in general for you to kind of get some idea if you're interested in a game like this. So I'm really excited about that, and that really has want re-inspired me to revisit this game and have a good time with it. So I'm really excited about that. What else do we have in some news that we wanted to chat about today?
Well, to keep on the space theme, Star Trek Online had a new update to their. They call them episodes. They're pretty much quest arcs, and they take about 35 to 45 minutes to play. That's why they call them an episode, and they do them in seasons, kind of like a TV show. But they're really fun, and they're very enjoyable. And I will be posting a video on YouTube of me just going through one of the episodes. It's not the newest ones. I'm a little far behind. It's been about a year since I played. But just kind of show you some of the combat, show you some of the questing. It's interesting and definitely worth checking out if you're looking for like a free-to-play MMO that doesn't have a lot of buy-in. I think generally we recommend for newcomers to spend $10 to unlock the account, and after that you really don't have to spend any more money at all. Their in-game buy money can also be gained in-game, so you don't really have to spend money. Now, you might want more than they give you, of course, but definitely a very fun game to play, and to check out the video on youtube.com at just search for Mediocre Gamers.
Good
Very
stuff.
cool.
Good stuff. And Caleb, what have you been? You got some news for us too. What you got for us?
Yeah, just a brief snippet. Heroes of the Storm is going to have a new map coming out here pretty soon called Volskaya Foundry, which is from Overwatch. And also Ana from Overwatch will be the next hero released. The Volskaya Foundry is pretty interesting, actually. It is going to have 3 capture points, or control points that you have to activate, so it's going to be kind of King of the Hill-like. And when you capture it, it gives you control of a giant mech, and it's going to be very similar to the Dragon Knight or the Garden Terror. Now, the interesting thing about this is that it can be controlled by 2 players, very similar to like Cho'Gall, but as a vehicle. So the first player that jumps in will be the pilot and will be doing the movement, and they will have very high like siege attacks to do tons and tons of damage to buildings, and also some damage to heroes, and I believe they do double damage to structures and minions, though. When a second player enters the vehicle, they will be the gunner position, have a completely new bar of skills, just like the pilot does, but different from the pilot, and they will have very high damage stuff for heroes, minions, and a lot of AoE stuff. So that's going to be really, really fun. And the 3 capture points will be vertically across the map next to the 3 lanes, but when you go to capture one, it'll pop out a mech, so it's not like the Dragon Knight where it's just in the center and you go for it. You're going to be fighting up and down the whole map. So that's going to be really, really cool. We don't really have any information on Ana as a new hero, but as that comes out, then we will be letting you guys know.
Yeah, that's super cool. I'm excited to see a new map and see the new hero from what little Overwatch I've played. And this kind of really gets me back into wanting to play Heroes of the Storm, especially with that Kel'Thuzad event still going on. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, I kind of like the aspect of a 2-seater vehicle that where one is taking out the towers and the other one's kind of protecting the guy. You really need that protection too. It looks fun.
Agreed.
Well, that's good stuff. Really exciting. So I don't know about you guys, but I've kind of been on an eternal kick this week. How about you guys?
More like a binge.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's pretty much all I've been playing this week.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty much all I've been playing too. It's really an exciting time in this game right now, especially like we've mentioned before in many of our previous episodes, the amount of free stuff that you get. But one of the things that they've really, especially this week, there's 2 things I kind of wanted to talk about. One of them is going to be the newest event, the Temporary Alliances event. And Crimson, you've had some decent success in this, and Caleb, you've also participated in this, and you guys are real. It sounded like you guys were really high on this, and really had some amazing deck building ideas for this. What have you guys been experimenting with, and do you guys want to explain some of the ins and outs of what this event is all about?
Definitely. Pretty much with this event is you're going to pay 200 gems or 2,000 gold, which equals 2 packs. You jump into the event. If you win 0, 1, or 2 games, you're going to get 2 packs back, plus a little extra. So you're always going to get what you paid for back into it. I love these kind of events where you do get what you paid for back in. This one's going to have a special rule. All multi-colored faction cards will cost 1 less to play. So this is just totally different deck building, and it is so fun to try some very new stuff that you would normally not get to play with. And I've just really enjoyed it. I know that we've all played different decks, and we'll get into that in a moment. Now, if you do get above the 2 wins, so if you get 3 wins, you're going to get an extra pack. You're going to get 3 packs. It is hard sometimes to get to that higher echelon. I don't know about you guys. My best has been 4 wins, which is still 3 packs. What about you, RJ or Caleb?
I unfortunately haven't really. I haven't entered in the event, but I'm planning on doing that. I think today might be the last day, so hopefully I'll get to tinker around with that. But I've really been exploring, continuing my MO of exploring the card pool and expanding my collection, because I still have to craft a lot of the kind of the basic cards that I need for a lot of these decks. So I really have been living vicariously through you guys with this event, but this event has really got me excited for things in the future.
Then you got to check out this deck. Now, originally I was running a Reanimator deck, and it was fun. But man, someone had posted this deck online, and it's called Fat Bottom Girls, and I love it.
Gosh.
It is so good, and doesn't hurt that I'm a big Queen fan. So it is definitely fun. Yeah, we'll jump in there and I'll play a game, and you guys can take a look at this. This deck is pretty sick.
Sweet. The deck that I ended up playing, I've just kind of been experimenting with Skycrag because I was always a red-blue fan in Magic. It was kind of this offshoot faction that nobody really liked to play, and Ravnica Block was my favorite, and that's when it kind of became big. So once this new set came out and we got blue-black, or blue-red, it felt like Magic again. It felt like Izzet. And so it was very nice to be able to play that kind of aggro red-blue type of deck, and in this event, it makes it just that much faster because your champion only costs 2, and he gets +1 attack and overwhelm if you have 2 red, and +1 attack and charge if you have 2 red, and +1 attack and overwhelm if you have 2 blue. So on turn 2, he can be live if you've got if you drop 2 seats or a seat in a banner or something like that. But he only costs 1 in this event. So you have a base 2/2 for 1 that just gets stronger, and all of the red-blue kind of aggro-y type stuff is very low cost with high efficiency. So it runs out fast, and it just kind of steamrolls or it dies. And I ended up only winning 2 matches, and you can lose 2 games and still keep playing in this event. The loss limit is 3. So once you lose that 3rd game, then you're done. So it does give you some chances to actually do some mistakes and get screwed over or have a bad hand, and you don't feel like you just wasted the money. And of course, you didn't waste the money because, as Crimson was saying, that you're paying the cost of 2 packs and you're getting 2 packs. So, at the very least, it is a very fun event. There's a lot of decks that I've been wanting to really mess with. I had a blue-white deck that I was trying to mess with for the event, but I haven't got to play it yet. But it's just all straight-up efficiency with false princes, which would effectively become a 2-cost 5/5 with overwhelm. I mean, this is some nasty shit to be brewing.
Yeah, that sounds really cool, and really, it really sounds like this event allows or enables a lot of the aggro decks. And Crimson, I just kind of want to give a shout out to that Reanimator deck that you built for your first run. It was mean, it was lean, and that I believe the Memory Dredger, that when he hits the opponent, you get to a creature back from your void that is 2 cost or less. Having this 1 reduction in multicolored faction really opens up a lot of possibilities for an aggressive deck like that. And I think the biggest thing that I took away from that was really just the joy of watching somebody else take an idea, run with it, and really just explore the Reanimator mechanic. And that's really, and I'm going to just keep saying this, but that's what's been really fascinating to me through the course of this event and through my brief time playing Eternal is just exploring all these different card mechanics, and it's been super awesome to see what both of you guys have come up with.
And I do have to agree with you on that. Like, I think the three of us played a lot of Eternal in the first set, and we kind of got burned out. And so when the second set released, we kind of played in a couple of the events, and we just kind of screwed around. We got a couple of packs, but we didn't really get to explore this new set. And we ended up buying the Founders packs, and I think that really kind of helped us look at this new set, because you end up getting a ton of content for this, and it looks like a high price point until you see the value, but it really allowed us to open a lot of packs and really kind of dive into this. And I'm just now exploring a lot of this set, and I keep messaging these guys and saying, like, oh my god, have you seen this card? This is stupid. I'm pretty sure these guys are getting sick of it by now.
Yeah, I mean, everything has been coming up Eternal this week. Very nice, having a lot of fun. I did have to stop playing the Reanimator deck because the Fat Bottom Girls deck is also the number one deck on like Eternal Warcry right now, so a lot of people are playing it, and it runs 2 Reality Wardens, which just devastated me. So I had to get to the point where I'm like, okay, I like this deck, but it doesn't work due to the meta, and I had to make a meta change because of that. And sometimes that's going to happen in card games where you're like, this deck's great, but the meta counters it right now.
Yeah, that fucking Reality Warden just irritates the shit out of me. I was playing my red-blue deck in the event, and that's what I lost to was it is a 5-cost 7/7. Cards cannot leave your opponent's void. And with the event, it makes him a 4-cost. So that just sucks when you're an aggro deck kind of building up a board and he just drops a 7/7 and you can't do anything about it. And with it being red-blue, there's not a lot of options that you have because most of your stuff is like damage spells. And at that early in the game, you're not going to have something to deal 7 damage. It definitely made me put the frog card in the deck, though.
Yeah, I love that frog card, dude. Oh man, I've been getting so much play out of that frog card. It's a polymorph. It costs what, 3? Turn a creature into a 1/1 frog.
Yep.
Oh my goodness, this card is so good. It sets up for, you know, an epic lightning storm. It allows you to jump block them now. I mean, that frog card is literally a kill card, and I know other people have seen it before, but man, I didn't realize how good it was, and it has gone into my control decks now.
And with this new set and with the enemy colors, a lot of the kill options with these new factions are not there. So going back to something like Polymorph is huge for like blue-green or red-blue that doesn't have a lot of options that like black decks use, which have tons and tons of direct kill. So I'm still going back to that polymorph whenever I'm building a blue deck that doesn't have black in it. And it's extremely nice, but the key for everybody to really drink in is that in Eternal, everything stays. So if I turn a unit into a 1/1 frog, it stays a 1/1 frog for the rest of the game. If it dies, it goes to the discard pile as a 1/1 frog. If you bring it back from the discard pile, it's a 1/1 frog. So that thing can really decimate a combo deck. It can really, and it's nice to see this meta change and how we can try to counter this meta change. Eternal is such a good card game, and I'm really, really happy with where it's at right now. This new set has really revitalized the game, and it's almost overwhelming how many options you have now.
Yeah, this set's been out for several months now, and granted we've got different schedules, but every time one of us comes back to it, we always find something new. Like Caleb, you were telling me about the different choice cards, like Vera's choice or Caleb's choice, and these cards are really sort of kind of have that air quotes charm mechanic from Magic the Gathering, where it's relatively cheap, but it's got three different or two or three different modes on it that you can pick. So it really is highlighting that versatility. And um, you were just telling me about those the other week, and there's still a lot to explore with an ever-changing meta. So I'm really excited about all that.
Definitely, and I really like the choice cards because it adds versatility to the deck, and so when you're looking at building a deck and you go, well, shit, I need, three or four annihilates and then these and these and these, or two or three annihilates and two or three backlashes. Well, obviously these are different colors, but with Caleb's choice or some of the other ones, Caleb's choice, for instance, costs two. It's red blue, and it says basically choose one, negate a spell with a single faction, so a monocolored spell, or destroy a monocolored attachment. So that adds a lot of versatility. You pack three or four of those in the deck, and you don't necessarily need a lot of the other counter spells or a lot of the other attachment destruction, because most of the really problematic attachments right now and relics have been, Zen and Obelisk, that son of a bitch that just buffs all your dudes to no end, and that's a monocolored card. So there it adds a lot more versatility and a lot better deck building options, because you can still use the backlashes, the annihilates, the ruins, stuff like that, but you don't have to now. You can kind of use these cards that are maybe not as good because this specific one targets only single colored cards, but it does mean that you're running three or four of them instead of three or four of 2 to 3 different cards.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. Um, I think a lot, and kind of a lot of the topics that we have been talking about, and we mentioned this earlier, but our revitalization into Eternal kind of came from that Founders package. And the amount of value that you get out of this package was a really good deal. You get two promo avatars, one of Jack the Bounty Hunter and one of Icaria, which is really cool. You get a set of promo sigils, which is super, super nice. Those are super pretty, and they did a really good job with that. You get the Iron Throne game totem to sit off to the side. And the biggest kicker with the empty throne. My apologies. And then the biggest thing with the founders package, with the big one, is you get 6,000 gems. That's a lot of gems, and all of this only costs you $50. The amount of the amount of value that you get out of this package is insane, and uh, I was able to buy 2 boxes with my 6,000 gems, and I was able to haul in from my empty throne box. I pulled an Icaria the Liberator, a Bandit Queen, and a Statuary Maiden. I was super excited about all three of those legendaries because I'm building some of those decks, and I'll get to those here in a bit. But then from my Omens
So
box, I pulled.
you literally pulled three of the best legendaries out of the first set. I am so fucking jealous.
I'm
God
sorry. I'm
Out of my
sorry.
2 boxes, I got 5 of the same legendary.
Is that even statistically possible?
No, it shouldn't be.
For
But
Caleb,
I
it is.
ended. Yeah, for me it is. I ended up getting 5 moment of creations. I'm like, cool, scrap that for 800 dust, and then I would pull another one. I'm like, son of a bitch.
That's funny. Wow. Um, and then from my Omens box, I was able to pull a Bartolo the Seducer, a Cauldron Cradle, and a Decimate. And those have opened up some really interesting options for, and especially two of those fall really well into Skycrag that I'm looking to experiment with a lot more. Oh man, good stuff, good stuff. But
I
with
think you're
all
gonna
of
like
these,
Skycrag. I think you will.
yeah, I'm really. I saw a Skycrag combo deck the other day that, and I know you say this card is a trap, but I really want to try it with this Cauldron Cradle, the one where once I play 5 spells, I get a 5/5 dragon. That's just too cool to me.
And I think it may have been a trap in my deck because it was more aggro than control. And maybe that was the problem. Like, I had a lot of burn spells and I had a lot of counter spells and stuff like that in the deck, but I just found that with having 4 of those cradles in there, I wasn't getting that dragon. Not even one. And so I ended up dropping them out for some more versatility, but I think that a straight up combo deck with that cradle will be a blast, and I cannot wait to see it. And that is kind of the nice thing about this game, is that the interactions between cards are so varied that you can just sit here and go complete beautiful mind on this game and be like, ooh, but if I use this card, this card, this card, this card, and these all work together, and then this creates this really awesome combo, and then I get a whole bunch of 5/5 dragons. So I definitely want to see that deck in action when you build it.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And that's really been rounding out my collection, and it's super awesome to finally get away from the first deck that I built. It was a Rakano aggro deck with all of the Warcry stuff, and it's the deck it's trying to be is Rakano plate, but I don't have the plates. I'm using Morning Stars as a replacement, but this package has really opened up my options for the card pool, is really allowing me to explore a bunch of different archetypes. I'm getting into Skycrag with that Decimate deck. I'm getting into a Rakano aggro, or a Rakano plate with a splash of shadow for variant, so I can get those slays in there. I can use Mikado and Icaria on the top end, and in that same vein, change it from less of an aggro deck to more of the armory style build, which really intrigues me. So really this Founders package has opened up my deck building opportunities and has really reinvigorated my exploring different factions and just seeing what's out there. It's been awesome. I think all of us have purchased the Founders pack. What were your guys' haul like?
Um, I got 8 legendaries. I just don't remember what they were. Um, so they weren't anything special. I did buy 2 of the newer boxes. Oh, I got like the Guitar Guide Dorego or whatever, and the rest were like single faction type stuff, which was not very good. So I didn't get a very good box, but I did get a bunch of foils that I was after. So in the end, it worked out. Like legendaries, I wanted the foils.
Mine was interesting. Again, I hadn't really got to dive into this set, so it was pretty fun opening 2 boxes of it and seeing all the nonsense that came out of this set. Like, I was actually mesmerized, like, reading all the cards as I opened them, when I usually just open all my packs and then go into my collection. I did get a lot of foils as well, just like Crimson did, but my legendary haul was crap. Like I said, I got, I think, out of the 2 boxes, because I also had some extra gems that were left over and some extra gold, that I just went ahead and bought some more packs. So with those extra packs and the 2 boxes, I ended up with 5 Moment of Creations, which just hurt me real bad. And I ended up getting a couple of other things that I can't remember. It was a very lackluster legendary haul, but it was really about the rares and uncommons for me. Every time I would open a pack and it was a rare and not a legendary, I'm like, please let it be one of these champions that I need. Please let it be one of these champions I need. Boom. And it's the green-blue champion, and I just was like, yes! I need a playset of those. I need a playset of all the champions from this set because they're so strong. And So it was really fun opening all those, but the foil power cards, or the premium power cards, were what made me look at the Founders Pack, and because I'm like, damn, those look pretty, and the still image of them does not do them justice. Then you also get the 2 premium avatars, which would be Ikaria and Jack. Jex is okay. He does look cool, and he has a pretty cool voice line, or sorry, the text line that he does. But Ikaria's is just fucking gorgeous. I don't think I can not use Ikaria as my avatar because of how awesome she is. But the empty throne is pretty cool. It based on your influence, it changes colors and a background for it. But the 2 boxes that I got, it really was about the rares. It was, legendaries aside, I ended up crafting a lot. I ended up able to craft 4 or 5 legendaries after opening all the packs. And I had a little bit of Shiftstone left over, so that helped. But I actually got to the point where I was like, I don't know which legendaries to craft, so I'm just kind of going to roll with what I got and see how it goes. And that is the nice thing about Eternal, is the legendaries are really, really strong and powerful, but it's become that the uncommons and the rares are really what flesh out a deck. And it's continued with this new set. And I've been exploring some other avenues with this Founders Pack in those 2 boxes. Like, I'm really diving into the red-white warp style deck, which actually Crimson showed me when this set was released.
Oh, that deck looks so fun.
Oh, the red-white one, that's the Empower deck, where you play stuff, your Mystic gets stronger, and you control the board a little bit, then you play like an Iron Thorn, right?
No. It's the red-white warp deck, the one with the heart of the mountain or whatever, heart of the vault. It's you play the cards from the top of your deck.
Oh no, okay, the warp, yeah, no,
Yeah.
Dude, that one's pretty fun, and I love Heart of the Mountain. It is such a good card.
He's so fun. And the warp deck is really fun because you can get to the point in the game where you are playing 5 or 6 cards off the top of your deck for little to no mana. Because you have a relic that says, and they stack, that the cards that you play from the top of your deck using warp cost 2 less. And it also has warp. So once you get one out, it makes it easier to get the next and the next and the next. But most of the warp stuff is pretty efficient cost-wise, like 6 and under for the most part. So you can end up sitting there and just spamming all this stuff. And the deck that I'm using is also using that Zen and Obelisk, which is, it costs 4, it's a relic, it gives all of your units +1/+1. If you have 8 or more power, then it gives them +2/+2 instead. So you've got all of these really efficient guys that you can kind of just sling off the top of your deck for very cheap that have pretty efficient bodies. One is like 5 for a 5/3 with Overwhelm and Warp, and when she comes into play, you can destroy an attachment. She's amazing. But when you've got an Obelisk or 2 out, she can be, massive. I mean, I ended up getting one up to like 12 strength the other day with Overwhelm. That's just nonsense. But it's a pretty easy deck to build because there's not a lot of legendaries in it. There's a sizable amount of rares, but it feels like it was an easier transition into this new set to be able to just be like, oh yeah, I'll just throw all these warp cards in the deck, craft a couple of the relics, and I'm good to go. So for people who are wanting to get into the game, I recommend the Founders Pack. I recommend buying the campaign because it gives you some legendaries and it gives you 4 copies of every card that is exclusive to that campaign. And also buy the Founders Pack because it's going to start you off with 2 boxes worth of cards for a good price, and it'll allow you to build some of these decks that are on the cheaper end, I should say, of specifically Shiftstone wise, that you're not having to craft 27 legendaries, for instance.
And you do have some gems left over, so pick up a theme deck too.
Definitely. When you first start, you'll get a free theme deck from the first set every week. But the new ones for the new set cost 250 gems, which is actually a deal for what you get.
Yeah, those theme decks really give you the foundation for a color pair that you're really interested in. They may not give you the best stuff, but they give you the basics of what you need to start that deck. Definitely worthwhile investment.
Absolutely. And an easy way to start in is to go ahead and get one of those theme decks, whether it's the free one that you get for that week, or it's one that you buy of the enemy colors, which is from the new set, from the actual store for the 250 gems. You can then take that into Gauntlet, which is the player versus AI, and you can earn some rewards in there, get gold that'll help you buy packs or buy into drafts, and so on and so forth. So it definitely has a progression in the game, and it's very, very friendly to new players.
Yeah, and especially you don't have to spend gems to get these decks either. You can spend gold, which is the in-game currency, and it just continuously fuels itself. So once you get rolling, you definitely get a lot of value.
Definitely. And whenever you do really anything, you are progressing to gain gold. Because whenever when you do the gauntlet, every time after the first enemy of the gauntlet that you beat, you earn a chest. And as you progress, you will earn more chests, and then those chests will also upgrade. And then so you'll get some gold, and then you can use that to buy packs, you can use that to buy decks, you can use that to buy into drafts or into the forge. So it's definitely worth checking that out, and it's a lot easier to get into than something like, I don't know, Magic or Hearthstone.
Yeah, that's for sure. The amount of and we're preaching to the choir at this point. The amount of free stuff that you get out of playing this game is awesome. I also really like, since this is a digital card game and you have all of this, uh, you don't have to worry about, say, if a card is errated, you don't have to worry about keeping it in the back of your mind of, oh, this card actually says this. No, when they do an errata, they actually let everybody know and they change the card, and that's it. You don't have to worry about it ever again. The card literally does what it says, which is awesome and a great advantage to any digital card game. They actually, in this last patch, that not the most recent patch earlier this week, but the one before that, they did actually errata a bunch of cards, very slightly, kind of balancing out a few factions. They did some buffs to the time, justice, primal, and shadow strategies with a bunch of different cards. Buffing, say, like a cat burglar, it's now a 3/2 instead of a 2/2. The Mask of Torment, the now 20 ultimate instead of 25 cost, things like that. So there's some changes, but that definitely helped out some of those strategies. They also do some nerfs on occasion, and they really changed how some of the power surge mechanic works. Now, before, those used to be pay X, where X is the rest of your power for the turn, and you get something huge like the chair chain flail. You spend your remaining power to get that much strength, and it's a relic. Well, now this time it is now 2 fire influence and 2, and then you spend the rest after that. So some changes like that. So they really just make those changes as they need, which is pretty cool. And then one of the other really exciting things with this last patch was the addition of, um, you can now gain experience in each of the 5 factions, which is really cool. And this is retro. So if you've been playing the game for a while, have set it down, and then you come back and pick it up, you're going to magically find you have a bunch of experience in a bunch of different factions, and there's different reward tiers in there. And I think that, and they can range from gold to packs to gems to I'm not entirely sure what the Gambit runs, but that's another really cool thing that they've added.
You can also get premium avatars for each of the factions, and just a couple of other little odds and ends. Nothing too big other than what you already stated. But yeah, the fact that it works retroactively really sold me, because we've seen that happen with a lot of games where they're like, hey guys, we're implementing a new experience type system, Heroes of the Storm, and when you go, okay, we're releasing this new type of thing, and you're going to be able to gain experience and gain rewards, well, normally everybody starts at 0. But when they go, no, we already accounted for everything that you've done already, here's a bunch of rewards as soon as you log in after the patch. I was blown away by that. The people at Eternal, which is Direwolf Digital, that is the developer, they take care of their players. And as RJ was saying, they have no problem balancing cards. They do not wait for another set to hit. If there is a problem with the game, they fix it. If there is something that's underpowered, they will buff it. If there's something overpowered, they will nerf it. And they're really good about it. When you see something get nerfed, you go, yeah, that seems about right. That seems what it should be. I remember there was a card in the first set. It was one of the first nerfs. It costed 1. I think it was called Quick Draw or something. Or Rapid Fire. It costed 1. It was a fast spell. And it said, give one of your units +4 attack and quick draw this turn. And it was so overpowered. Well, they ended up turning it into a 2-cost spell. And it balanced it. Like, people weren't running 4 copies of it mandatory every single time. And so it's really nice seeing a company that can put out a digital card game that plays this smoothly, that has this kind of card pool out the gate, that is both a good size and not too overwhelming for new players, but gives plenty of options and plenty of opportunities and versatility with deck building choices and a diverse meta, while also rewarding all of their players, giving out free stuff constantly, and keeping a price point down to $1 a pack. Like,
That's massive.
Yeah, I can't talk this game up enough. The fact that there is a card game that exists anywhere that is $1 a pack and that plays this good and is this fun, it feels like what Magic Online should have been, and at a price point that fits a digital format. So,
speaking of Magic Online,
yes,
they are coming out with that arena. And I'm very curious to see what they're going to do. A lot of it's going to come down to price point. If they have a competitive price point, I may be interested in getting into it. But they're saying right now it is not a replacement for Magic Online, and I think that's their downfall. Magic Online sucks balls. It can go eat a bucket of dicks.
Not just a single one, just a whole bucket.
Yeah, a whole bucket.
And look, I understand they're wizards, and they're like, well, we're so fucking awesome. Everything we do is like shiny and gold. No, dude, scrap it. It sucks. It sucks so bad. Nobody wants to play Magic Online. Give us this new engine, convert it to Magic Online, give us the same, allow us to have trading. Don't make it Hearthstone-like with dust and bullcrap like that. Put trading in there. Make it better, because that's what we need in Magic Online. The reason why it sucks is dude, IronThrone.net looks better than Magic Online.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
Yeah,
that's actually accurate.
That's very accurate. This Magic Arcana interface looks like they've borrowed a lot from both Hearthstone and the Eternal, just like the GUI. Like it flows and it looks like it should be what Eternal is, and Wizards is going to put their spin on it. So we'll see what they do. They've got, in my opinion, they have a high standard to live up to with what the folks at Direwolf are doing with Eternal.
I agree.
Yeah, and it doesn't it doesn't matter how good your base card game is. If you can't be competitive in the market, and if you're just going to give us a shell copy, it's not going to work. I mean, no matter how much money you throw at it, Watsy, and I know you got the money to throw at it, but it doesn't matter. If you don't support it and you don't make it better than what your competitors are, people aren't going to continue paying for it, and they're not going to play it.
I completely agree. And that's one of the reasons why I stopped playing paper Magic, other than the toxic community. But the other reason why, I will not play Magic again unless it's with a closed group because of how fucking toxic that community is. When we go and play our card games, Game of Thrones, L5R, Arkham, whatever we're playing at any of the local card shops, when there is Magic events going on, it is awful. It is. I am so sick of hearing people scream at the top of their lungs for a judge. Like, it is unnecessary to be that loud and obnoxious. And to call a judge over every 5 seconds, it seems like there's a problem there. But we won't get into that. But now, when it comes to Magic Online, I never got into Magic Online because it was such a shit interface, and they were still charging the same fucking amount. I'm like, it's a digital game and you're trying to charge me the same amount as if I had a physical copy of it. Why would I not just buy the physical copy? Oh, wait, because of the shitty community. So then it turns into a vicious cycle, and then I just stop playing Magic. Now, when Crimson introduced me to Eternal, he goes, I think you're really going to like this game because it kind of feels like Magic. I jumped into it and immediately felt like Magic in almost every possible way, but with a very user-friendly style to it. It wasn't, I have to hit continue or skip every single fucking possible phase. Oh, that person played a land. Would you like to react? Skip or continue? No, I don't care about them playing a land. Well, they drew a card. Would you like? No. Fuck off. And with Eternal, you really only get prompted if you have an option. So, like, if somebody goes, hey, I'm going to face smash you, and you're like, and you have a card in hand that says, kill a creature, it'll stop and go, and it'll highlight the card and say, continue, and you can drag that card up there and kill their creature, or you can hit continue and let them hit you. So it feels more fluid and more intuitive. And I get that Eternal is a newer card game and Magic Online is an older platform, but Jesus fucking Christ, Wizards, you have the money. You could have upgraded that platform fucking years ago. And now you're waiting until all these other card games are getting popular, and you're like, we're releasing Magic the Gathering Arena, which looks great, and I'm going to look into it. Do not get me wrong. But the problem with it is going to be that price point. It is going to be how they do their back end. It is going to be how they do their trading and their dust or shiftstone system. That is going to matter to me, because if it does not blow me away, I have Eternal. I don't need that game. And I'm happy with Eternal. Hearthstone, I go back and forth with, but I do have that as well. But it really comes down to if Magic the Gathering Arena does not blow us away and give us something we don't have with these other games, specifically Eternal, then it's just going to flop like Magic Online did. And I don't want that to happen, because I would like to see us being able to play Magic in a good environment with a good interface. And a solid price point. But until that ever happens, if it ever happens, I'm playing Eternal, bitches.
Yeah, no, I think that's going to be the same thing for me. I would to me, in all honesty, the only format in Magic the Gathering that I will play anymore is is EDH, Elder Dragon Highlander.
Commander, yeah,
boy. So I would really like to see if we can do something like that, have a format like that for Eternal. But yeah, I stopped playing that. I stopped playing competitive Magic a long time ago, and I've been starting to downsize my collection, and I've really found my home here in Eternal. And Caleb, for all of those reasons that you mentioned that got you into the game, I followed very close behind at your suggestion, and it was awesome, and I'm really thankful for the suggestion, as I think we all are, because we definitely had a blast this week, and we even just sat down and threw a couple decks that we were brewing this week and just did a head to head with just the two of us at a time with the third person watching. But man, those were a lot of fun.
Definitely. And it's really been fun. Even playing against your friends in Eternal feels good. Like, you can sit there and really just take your time and have fun with it. And and when you're on voice chat on Discord or something with each other, you can sit there and have table talk, and it feels like you're playing a real fucking card game. But when you're with a lot of the other games, that doesn't happen, and it's tougher for things like Hearthstone because it doesn't have any sort of social community. And with Eternal, it kind of does. Like, we don't have clans or guilds or anything like that, but we do have a friends list, and you can chat in-game with your friends. Now, you can't chat with the opponent, which is usually a good thing. But
and also, I'm going to interject. I'm going to interject. I'm sorry. That interface with the in-game chat is also very clean and crisp and polished.
Absolutely. It really is. And it wasn't as good a few patches ago, because it was like really hard to get to it. Like, if you're in a match and somebody's messaging you, you would have to like go click on the friends icon, click on that person, and then click in and type. And when the window went away, you would have to keep doing that. And they've kind of fixed that a lot, because I remember I was talking to Crimson during a match, and he was talking to me, and I would hit enter if I recall properly, that I could hit enter and it would just bring that window back up. So that has been a great improvement. And again, shout out to Direwolf Digital, who has been constantly updating and fixing any sort of issue, but more importantly, just updating and making things better. Now, back to EDH, that is the other thing that hinges for me on Magic Arena, is if they don't have the other formats, if they don't have Commander, I don't give a shit. Because that's the only time I have fun, is playing Commander / EDH. That was the last format that I played. It was the most fun format that I've played. And I feel like if it's just going to be a Hearthstone or an Eternal copy where it's just 1v1 with these sets and this sort of format, I'm not going to have fun with it. I do hope that Eternal does come out with a format that will be a Highlander or a actual Commander variant where we can choose a legendary creature, specifically just like, Nyctotraxian, and then that's the dude you have on the side, and you can do it very similarly, maybe not the same way because copyright, of course, but something similar. But I do want to try and do a 100 card Highlander deck for each of us and see how it plays in Eternal.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I'd be up for that.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do. Alrighty. Well, I think we've definitely had some good experiences this week with Eternal. Really revitalized our drive for it, and I think we've knocked this one out of the park. Do we? You guys have any other closing thoughts that we want to touch on?
Just play more Eternal. It's fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and come play Eternal with us.
Yeah, you guys can always find us in Discord at discord.mediocregamers. If you're looking to get into Eternal, join up on Discord, make contact with one of us, and they have a really handy refer a friend program, and we would love to get you guys in there. So don't be afraid, come out and join us, and I think you're really going to enjoy what they've got cooking, what Eternal's got cooking here. So, as always, thank you guys for listening. You can check out our previous episodes at mediocregamers.com. Keep up to date with us on Facebook and Twitter at 2mediocregamers. And I've already mentioned our Discord information. I also encourage you guys to check out our YouTube channel. Hopefully in the future we'll be posting some more videos, especially of Eternal, since we've had a good run at it this week. And you can find the link on our Facebook page as well as on the left-hand tab on mediocregamers.com. So, and the other exciting news, as I mentioned, we're on iTunes. Check us out at bit.ly/MGCtunes. Or you can just search for Mediocre Gamers on iTunes. So thank you guys for listening. We are Mediocre Gamers, and I'm RJ.
I'm Crimson.
And I'm Caleb.
And until next time, get out there and play some games.